Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back at it again. It is Friday, August 8th. I have been annoyed at work, so I took the day off. And I feel like I want to get back to this pond again. I have not touched this pond in like 2 months. Fish think they're getting fed. You're not getting fed right now. I'm working on your home. I have not worked on this pond in like 2 months. I forgot where I left off with it. We finally have some beautiful days. It only took until August to start getting beautiful days. It is unseasonably cool in August. It's like 60 something degrees right now in the morning. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. It's like 60 something degrees. It's only supposed to get the high of like 70, low 70s today. So I'm going to make the best of it, and I'm going to dig a hole. So here is where we left off. I kind of had the tarp over it. I let it get wet so I can finish carving out some stuff. This is kind of what the design's going to be, and this is not by desire. This is by lack of motivation to do much more with this. I'm just tired. It is taking too long. I have too many other things to do. And I think I'm just at a point kind of acceptance. So as much as I want to bring this top shelf down a little bit, I'm leaving that top shelf alone because it's beautiful, it's flat, I don't want to mess with it. Anything I mess with, I make worse. You're going to see over here where I started to bring it down, and it's just going to be in a train wreck. So I'm just taking this section out here, and then I'm going to level this bottom shelf all the way around. And I'm just going to clean up that little bit what's left over there. I'm going to kick out a little bit more of that area back there for a koi hide. And other than that, like, I'm done until I'm ready to chop this out. This is the last step to chop this out because I got to bring down the level of the pond to be able to do the liner, and then everything's going to flow over. So that is my goal. Any leftover stuff I'm chopping out of here is going over here, and I already had this leveled out pretty decent the other day, and I threw a little bit more on top. You'll see the more wet stuff on top. That's kind of just me kind of digging out the bottom a little bit more and sloshing around. So that is what my goal is today, is just clean up and just, like, I've said it 1,000 times before, maybe I get a liner today, this weekend. Today would be opportune time, right? If I'm able to get as much cleaned up and done today as I would like, I am buying the liner today. I'm not prepared to buy it financially at the moment. It's gonna be like $1,000 for liner and underlayment, but I think I'm just gonna do it, because if I don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. So that's what my goal is today. I'll try and grab some time lapse. Isla, as always, my helper, who blends in with the clay. I should just call her Clay. She's going to be helping and managing and surveying for me. And then we'll just get into it. So wherever my boots may be, and part of the, oh, here they are. Part of this on why I need to get back to this, because my wife's giving me a hard time. She is not happy that the yard has been ripped up for as long as it has. Again, it's been an absolute train wreck because of the rain. I've been telling people at work I'm gonna host a barbecue, and now the summer's almost over, and I'm like, yeah, I refuse to have anybody over at the house because it just looks like a train wreck, trailer, trashy. I just want to get back to normal. Fish want to get in their new home. It's like right there. I feel like they could see it. They know what's going on. So I just want to get them over there so they can stretch out a little bit. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just rambling at this point, so let me get my boots on, let's get muddy, and we'll get cracking. All right, fit check, looking fly. My wife makes fun of me for how I'm dressed, but I said, who gives a shit? I'm digging a hole in the backyard, nobody sees me. So make fun of my outfit. We will be jamming for, I don't know, about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I knocked out this corner here, started bringing that down, and again, you know, that top shelf, I'm going to start trying to level that. I think this is as comfortable as I feel for this level height, or for this shelf height. Again, it's got to go down over there. Chopped out a little bit more over there. chopped out a little bit more over there. Here's where we get to a spot of diminishing gains. It's because every time I go to level, so I'll hit with that chisel right there, and then I'll hit a rock. So I hit a rock right here. This level was, the shelf was all the way over here. Hit a rock, started chipping, and then it broke off a big chunk. So this corner is actually broken off here, but I'm gonna hope that I'm gonna try and compact that back and keep that, because I'm gonna try and put a big piece of flagstone across here for a koi hide. But again, you know, same thing over here, right? I went a little bit deeper. You're gonna see right there in the corner, I went deeper because of big rock. So I'm at that point of this soil that no matter where I chip, you can see there a rock, 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 right? So like, I'm at this point of diminishing returns. There's a rock. Then as I start screwing with these shelves, shit's gonna start breaking off because I'm hitting rocks, right? So this is where I'm saying I got to get to a point of acceptance. So again, we're just going to bring down, try and level, and do as much as little collateral damage as possible. There's a rock there, so there's a rock back there. Again, it's just, this is where it's hard with this type of soil, and I'm just sloshing around and just pure, just muck down here. So it's not making it any easier to walk around, but it'll probably make it easier to level it, because it'll compact down as I'm walking, and it'll kind of level it a little bit and make for a flatter surface. So again, I'm just going to get at it. I'm going to keep on chipping away at this little by little till we get, you know, a minimal amount of dirt there, and then chop, let it all fall over, and start getting at the liner. So all right, so even though it wasn't supposed to get hot today, it got hot enough when you're moving dirt. So I feel like I keep on showing the same thing, but whether or not you could pick this up on camera, I moved a lot of dirt. I basically made this entire shelf right here. So I knocked out more of this wall, knocked out more, just all over the place. You can see how much more dirt is here. I'm just moving so much dirt. So it may not look like I'm making progress, and sometimes I feel like I'm not making progress, but I'm making progress. I knocked out a lot. That's gotta be probably a yard of dirt that I moved today. A lot of it was rock and clay, so it's heavy lifting. So it's about 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I don't even know what time o'clock it is, but I'm gonna pack it in for the day. I'm gonna spray everything down, get the ground nice and moist again so I can come back at it. Whew. So I can come back at it and carve tomorrow, and we'll touch base. We'll be back. All right, another day back at it. A million man hours, a million mistakes. So you're gonna see, hopefully you can see with the shadow, I started knocking out this shelf here. So I started measuring level, and the water level is going to get too shallow there with that shelf. So I'm pretty much going to knock that shelf out all the way around and make this lower shelf the shelf. I mean, it's easier to break through that stuff because that is dirt that I put in, and not dirt that's been compacted for hundreds of years. So there's a plus side. But the downside is I got to keep on moving the same dirt. Again, I got this big pile. I got to start moving this pile back again, so I can start stacking the rest of this dirt on that pile and bring down the level over on this side. It's just, as soon as I think I'm close, I'm not really all that close. So I started knocking at the wall a little bit more, right until about water level. So that's how I have a better judge of water level now. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep on at it. I gotta take a break. Well, it's not that hot. This is pretty torturous work, so just keep on moving dirt, keep on stacking clay, and getting at it. So what I thought was 4 foot down there is now gonna be 4 foot. I gotta go down a little bit deeper. I don't even know. Once I whack this out, I don't even know if I'm gonna go any deeper. Again, I just don't know that there's really that much of a point, but I don't know, I'm losing motivation. Let's see where we end up. I think it's about quitting time. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Been out here since like 9. There's a reason why I'm not doing time-lapse footage. I'm fat and I'm old, and it's kind of pitiful if you see how I'm digging this and how many breaks I gotta take, because this is brutal. A lot of times I'm getting lightheaded. This is definitely a young man's game. I'm surprised I've even been able to do as much as I can with the shape of my body and my age, but as you can see here, I knocked out this whole top shelf all the way over to that corner. I may leave a little bit of that up there for the rocks, foundation rocks of the waterfall, but I'm starting to chip away at that top shelf over here as well. Start getting that as level as I can, and then I'm going to round out this section here and kind of round out the middle as best as I can, and kind of leave these bump outs. That's going to be a cave, maybe that'll be a cave, I don't know. Got over the water level line over here at the walls. The wall's kind of thin over there, ready to protrude. I got just enough to hold the dam up, but yeah, it's surprising how quick your plans can change when you find out something wasn't done right. So I'm beat. I don't know how much more I got left in me. Thankfully, these days aren't too disgusting out. It's only like very, very low 80s, a little bit of a breeze, so it's like okay to deal with, but it's still a lot of work, man. That's a lot of dirt. Remember, all this was non-existent. I built all this dirt I brought in. I excavated from here, put to there, and leveled all this out. So plus I brought in 2 yards of dirt, 3 yards. I don't even remember how much dirt I brought in. So yeah, it's been a lot of moving dirt and rocks. Remember, I still got all them rocks back behind the shed. Man, it's just thinking about this adventure, it makes me wonder why I get into these things. I certainly don't have the time. I don't have the patience, and I don't have the energy, but somehow I make it through it. If not for my tenacity in life, I don't got anything else, that's for damn sure. So we're going to button this one up here. I'll come back out. I'll show you guys some progress tomorrow. I'm going to try and hit it for a few hours tomorrow. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see what other new surprises come in, but we'll be back. Alright, so I finally started using my brain. As I'm chipping out the walls here, I keep on pulling out these ginormous rocks. You're going to see some big rocks sitting up there that I'm pulling out of the walls. So you can see one started there. I started actually saying, hey, what does clay do? What do people use clay for? They use it for forming things, right? So I started taking chunks of clay and sitting them back inside the crevices where these big rocks are getting pulled out, and I'll hit them with my sledge over there and just start forming clay back into those walls. So you'll see where I kind of started that over there. I'm going to start forming it a little bit more, and again, just kind of as I hit tough spots where I got to pull out a big rock, as long as I can pry it out without breaking a wall down, I'm just going to start refilling it back in and making use of this clay. You see this wall shelf pretty much ripped out. I'm starting to carve away down at this bottom shelf here to round it out a little bit more, and then, I know, I say this again, I'm just leveling at this point. I'm not touching anything else. Just fixing the shape to make it easier to lay the liner. At this point, it's just fixing mistakes, cleaning up ledges so the liner doesn't rip when I put it in, and just letting it eat. So we'll get back to it. As a sign off before we get back to it, call me fat, call me out of shape, call me an asshole. Don't ever call me lazy, because I have moved so much dirt, more than probably somebody half my age and half my weight would do, because really I'm cheap. I don't want to pay somebody else to do it, and I have this self-gratification of getting a project done myself. I'm like at that point where I'm ready to tap out, but again, I am very tenacious. I will get this done, and I just kind of got my second win this morning. So, well, boys and girls, I think I'm trying not to look at it because I'll change my mind, but I think I got to a point of acceptance to ready the line. I've been busting my balls all day, and I think I got this ready. The The sides are a little bit taller than I wanted them to be, but I'm just going to stack with bigger rocks this time. So as you can see, I took out this entire freaking section. It slopes up a little bit over here. Again, I got to get it to a point of acceptance. So I am going to accept it. Let's jump down like 3 feet, another 1.5 feet or so. So again, if you can see at level, it's going to go up a little bit, go up around, and again, it's just kind of is what it is. I carved as much as I can carve, but you see slope up to there, go around this section, because this is where it's going to hold that piece of flagstone, and this top section where it's going to have the boulders for the waterfall, and maybe some maybe I'll put the one lily, or I'm sorry, not lily, the lotus over here. Probably going to put it down in this section though, because it needs to be a little bit deeper. Yeah, and that's all she wrote. Hide. If I can find a big enough flagstone, that's going to be a hide too, but probably not. But yeah, that's what it is. These guys have been visiting me for the last 2 days. I'm hoping I don't get stung by one of them things. We're eye level with the koi. They've been coming up to visit and checking out what I'm doing, so hopefully I can get this train wreck of a backyard back to normalcy in the next few weeks, month. I don't know anymore, but I feel like I made some pretty good progress. I was really ready to give up on this yesterday, but I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I just kind of pushed through and persevered, because everything's looking pretty good. You know, again, as good as you can do with hand tools. And once the liner's in, you know, I'll chisel up these edges a little bit nicer, but once the liner's in, you're not going to see any of that stuff anyway, so it's a moot point. Actually, now that I think about it, I'll level up this bottom a little bit better, because as I was chipping away, stuff was falling down here. I'm stepping on it and I compacted it. So I'm going to bag it for the day. I'll clean this up maybe tomorrow, and then I'm doing liner this week. Hell or high water, I'm doing liner this week.